Hello students, welcome to the Triveni Memorial Senior Secondary School online class. Today I am here with the topic of 11th class physics. Newton's formula and Laplace correction we are going to discuss. As we know that velocity of a longitudinal wave, just like sound is a longitudinal wave, you must be knowing. So velocity of a longitudinal wave in a medium, where it is solid, liquid or gas, because longitudinal wave can propagate in all the three medium. So velocity of longitudinal wave in a medium is given as V is equal to bulk modulus of the medium divided by density under root. This is a formula that has been derived with the help of a number of scientists. So this is a formula we have to learn. We can apply directly this formula whenever we need to find the velocity of any longitudinal wave, for example sound, in any medium. What we need to know? We need to know the bulk modulus of the medium. Suppose a longitudinal wave is propagating through air, we should know the bulk modulus of air. If longitudinal wave is passing through water, we should know the bulk modulus of water and the density of water. So this is the formula. Now, Newton, as we know that he was the master of dynamics, but he applied his luck in acoustics. Acoustics is the study of sound. So Newton tried to give a formula for the velocity of sound in air or a gas. Newton's formula for the velocity, the symbol that we will take with the small v, velocity of sound in air, or you can call gas. He tried. Of course, he had to use this formula. He was well aware of this formula, and finding the density of air is quite easy. The problem lies in finding the bulk modulus, because there is no any device using which we can find the bulk modulus of air. But he thought that propagation of sound is isothermal. An idea came into his mind that propagation of sound in air is isothermal. So this is a matter of secret whether his assumption was right or wrong. Just very soon we'll be able to know this. But according to him, it was supposed that propagation of sound is isothermal. Suppose I am producing sound in this room, and I am producing the sound that will pass through air, and that is reaching to the device, and that will be reaching to you also. So we need to know the bulk modulus of air. Assume air is an ideal gas, because normally we take all the gases to be ideal, but there is a slight difference between ideal gas and real gas. But for mathematical convenience, for simplicity, we can take the gas to be an ideal gas. Under isothermal condition, temperature will be constant. As we know that PV is equal to nRT. Here V stands for volume, P stands for pressure, M is the number of moles that is present in this room, R is the ideal gas constant, which is a universal constant, and T is the temperature in Kelvin. Temperature in Kelvin means absolute temperature. Now how to find the bulk modulus? Bulk modulus in the solid chapter, there is a chapter in your syllabus, there is a chapter, that is solid chapter. There we came to know that bulk modulus is stress. Stress means change in pressure. Whatever change in pressure is there, that is called stress, divided by volumetric strain, and the volumetric strain is minus dV upon dV. dV means change in volume and V means original volume. This is called volumetric strain. Minus sign, because when you apply the pressure, volume decreases. That's why minus sign is there. So always you have to remember this. This is the definition of bulk modulus. The ratio of stress, that is change in pressure, and the volumetric strain. Okay. Let us differentiate this equation, differentiating both sides. Well, let us try to differentiate it. Apply the quotient formula. First function derivative of second plus second function derivative of first is equal to LR. Both are constant, can be taken out. Derivative of temperature. But temperature is constant. So as temperature is constant, dt will be 0. So complete this factor will be 0. P dV plus V dP is equal to 0. We can write P multiplied by dV. Take this in that side, minus d dV. Okay, so P dV will be minus V dP. You do one thing, take this dV this side. P will be equal to dP, and mathematically this V can be written over here also like this, dV by V with minus sign. Now just look at this and simultaneously at the same time look at this. What we can say? This is just equal to bulk modulus. So Newton must be given a credit for the discovery of the fact that bulk modulus under isothermal condition of a gas is equal to the pressure. Pressure is equal to bulk modulus. So Newton tried to find bulk modulus. He applied his mathematical knowledge and he came to know that bulk modulus is equal to pressure. So finally what we can write? Velocity of sound in any gas is equal to pressure divided by density. On the place of bulk modulus, pressure was put. So this is the formula that was given by Newton and is called Newton's formula for the velocity of sound in a gas, in air. But students, whether this formula was right or wrong, we have to see. Okay, so this was the formula given by Newton. P means pressure, rho means density, and it is very easy to find the pressure using atmospheric barometer. You can find the pressure. But when this was tested experimentally, what was the problem? By the formula, putting the value of pressure and the density, the velocity was found to be 280 meters per second. But experimentally, when sound was created and its speed was measured, the speed was found to be 320 meters per second. So see the difference. There is a difference of 40 meters per second. This is a very unexcusable difference. It is a large difference. So this formula was finally discarded. This formula was not accepted at all. So this was a Newton's failure, students. This was a Newton's failure. Even a legend fails. This is a very good example of the failure of a legend. So what was the problem in this formula? Let us get back. Newton assumed that the propagation of sound is isothermal. This was wrong. This was finally corrected by Laplace, a great French mathematician, Laplace. He said that propagation of sound in air cannot be isothermal. It should be adiabatic. Newton was saying that the propagation of sound is isothermal, but Laplace argued that no, the propagation of sound is adiabatic. So he gave two strong points to justify his stand. Point number one, he said that the propagation of sound is not a slow process, it is a very fast process. That's quite correct. Compression rarefactions are formed, and the compression rarefactions are very rapid. Compression rarefaction, compression rarefaction, compression rarefaction. So propagation of sound is a fast process, and fast process cannot be isothermal. Normally isothermal process is very slow, like melting of ice, boiling of water. So a fast process cannot be isothermal. This was first point. Second point, in thermodynamics you must be knowing that for isothermal process there should be conducting wall so that heat can come, heat can go. But we know that gas or air is a bad conductor of heat or is an insulator of heat. And if the boundary is insulator, process must be adiabatic. So these two strong points were quite enough to prove that propagation is not isothermal, propagation is adiabatic. So Newton accepted his mistakes and he said to Laplace that you are absolutely right. So what was the Laplace contribution? Laplace said that propagation of sound in air or in any gas is not isothermal, it is adiabatic. And for adiabatic process, our formula will not be PV is equal to constant. Our formula is PV gamma is equal to constant. So dear students, always keep these two things in your mind, that for isothermal PV is constant and for adiabatic PV gamma is constant. And what does gamma stand for? Gamma is called adiabatic index or adiabatic coefficient, and gamma is the ratio of Cp upon Cv. Specific heat at constant pressure, specific heat at constant volume. So when any process is adiabatic, we will start with this formula. So the only difference, this is called the equation of state for, this is called the general equation of state. Ideal gas equation. Under isothermal condition, PV becomes constant, and under adiabatic condition, PV gamma becomes constant. So now we will differentiate this equation and we will get the corrected and the final formula. Now dear students, let us see Laplace correction. Obviously Newton's formula was wrong. You should never use the Newton's formula. No, Laplace correction was that PV gamma should be constant. Let us differentiate this equation. Differentiating the equation. First function, derivative of second function, derivative of first function, and the derivative of k will be 0 because k is constant. Now how to solve this? For this you need to learn one formula. D by dx of x to the power n is lx to the power n minus 1. This is the formula we have already discussed in our first, second chapter. Dx to the power n will be lx to the power n minus 1 multiplied by dx. Now see the similarity. D is here also. On the place of v, we are having x, or on the place of x, we are having v. On the place of n, we are having gamma. So use this formula. Write P as it is. Gamma v gamma minus 1 and dv. So this is small thing has to be expanded in this way. Apply this formula. Minus v gamma dp. Now gamma p v gamma upon v. If you solve it, the power will be 1. When it goes up, it will be minus 1. So the same thing can be written like this. dv minus v gamma dp. V gamma and V gamma can be cancelled out. So gamma P is equal to minus dP, and this whole dV upon dV can be taken this side, dV upon dV. Now just I told you, this is called bulk modulus. So Laplace proved that bulk modulus is not equal to pressure, it is gamma times the pressure. For isothermal process, bulk modulus is equal to pressure and bulk modulus is equal to gamma times pressure. This is for isothermal process. And if the process is adiabatic, like the propagation of sound is adiabatic, of course. So for adiabatic, we have proved, or Laplace had proved that bulk modulus is not pressure, bulk modulus is gamma times pressure. So now, the formula was B is equal to bulk modulus upon density. On the place of bulk modulus, write down gamma P upon rho. This is the final formula, this is the correct formula. So we have to apply in numericals this formula. So velocity of sound is gamma times pressure divided by density under root. This is the pressure, density and the adiabatic coefficient. Adiabatic coefficient depends on whether the gas is monoatomic, diatomic, triatomic. For air, normally gamma is 1.4. So the value of gamma will be given to you. This is called Newton Laplace formula. You cannot forget the name of Newton, no? Because Newton initiated the process. So this is called Newton Laplace formula. So wherever we need to find the velocity of sound in air or any gas, we will apply this formula directly. Gamma P by rho.